Let's look at his career so far. You, of course, know that he was under the tutelage of the former EFCC boss, Ibrahim Lamurde, at some point. Does it surprise you, though, that having been with Lamurde, who cannot be found now, as it were, does it surprise you that Mr. President did not question where Lamurde is and how Lamurde was able to manage the EFCC before nominating Magu to be the EFCC chairman?
My problem is the reasons behind this report getting to Senate without the president first writing to DSS or SSS for the purposes of clarification before even nominating his name for the purposes of ratification by the Senate. The proper thing would have been the DSS is part of the executive, and the president has every right to say, I want you to bring your investigation searchlight on Mr. Magu. And whatever comes out wouldn't have come to public domain now. The proper thing would have been relying on it in the first place. You will not appoint him. But some will say, well, his rejection is not final. His name might be represented. But the question here is the Senate too acted in a hurry, because I think the proper thing would have been to call him and confront him with this evidence. You don't decide somebody's fate in his absence, as that amounts to an infringement to his right to fair hearing. And by exposing some of this classified information without confronting him directly in the Hollow House, we give him even a chance, or better to say, an afterthought to build up a defense, no matter how frivolous it is. But if he had been confronted with this document in the House, and then they say react, because confirmation, you can as well invite the person to whom you want to confirm and ask him a question. Remember, the appointment to the office of the chairman, executive chairman of the EFCC is 2 stages. One, the selection comes from the president, who shall now forward the name to the Senate for the purposes of ratification or confirmation. And then it is not complete, save and except that name is confirmed. So as it is now, he is not. And then I've gone through the gamut of the provisions of the Enabling Act. There is no place where they created an acting chairman. One will now advance argument and say that it's a child of necessity. The tenor, the law says there shall be a commission known as Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. And then the composition went further to say that they shall have a executive chairman who shall be the chief accounting officer. That is the position.
What do you expect that the president would do on this now, because he has not acted yet?
The proper thing would be for the president to reconsider the report of the DSS, and if it's supportable with facts, then they could invite Mr. Magu and confront him with these facts. He has an option to advise himself accordingly. And what kind of advice? Sir, I have seen these things. It's damning. There is no problem, sir. You can make another appointment. If I am the president, I will not rely on that, whatever happened in the pages of newspaper or whatever happened in the House. I will give him that opportunity, because it's embarrassing to the presidency.
How has this affected the anti-corruption war now? Because Mr. President is spearheading this really frankly, and does this slow the process down?
Yeah. You see, charity begins at home. You don't wash your dirty linen in the public. If you know you want to fight corruption, first is to make sure that you have responsible, vibrant people who are ready to fight corruption. And you must have checked their background. It is not in a hurry. The name was sent sometime in June. And the delay that rolled out shows that something is playing out. However, the president can still lobby. When I say lobby, I do not mean that he has to give money. Maybe meet some of them and talk to them, and they may represent it. But this information is damning. It's not such that we sweep under the carpet, because it will stink and continue to stink. I think the proper thing would be to confront the man who is involved, who is in the center stage of the whole scandal, and say, okay, what is your reaction? Where are you living? Who pays this rent? We know, you know when you were enlisted in Nigerian police force, and we know your salary. We'll place it down, and then you work it out, both the allowances, the extra code, and everything, and then you look at the differences. What is the case that one of the one of the judges of the Supreme Court, justices of the Supreme Court,
I'm afraid
what was considered there was his salary. Vis-a-vis the amount he spent within 10 months.
I'm afraid that we're going to have to put it on a hold there. I want to thank you so much indeed for talking to us. Alan Abaka is a legal practitioner and illuminating the issues even with a different perspective to it. Many thanks indeed.